So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. Well, partner, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Play action. Now Wentz. Slings this deep from McLaurin. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete.
And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts,
as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2.
Well, partner, that's how you make a long drive suddenly not so long anymore. One big play, and they're already in field goal range with designs on getting more than that.
A real field flipper there, as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. To throw, it's Wentz. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone, space is at a premium for receivers to try and operate and shake themselves free. That one's incomplete.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. To throw is Wentz. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
They haven't been able to stop them so far this series, but getting a nice little stand from their defense now.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Now Wentz. And this is going to be intercepted.
Picked off by Eric Murray. And the Texans are going to take over at their own 13-yard line.
And that felt like a little extra pressure on that 3rd down attempt, and their mistake cost them points because they're inside the red zone. So you know you've got at least a field goal waiting for you. And in this case, they end up with nothing.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going.
And with a 2-score lead already, they may just look to get this thing to the locker room.
And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
These two clubs running through their final halftime adjustments. It's just about time to get back at it. But for the call of the second half, we go back out to Houston, H-Town, and Brandon Gaudin.
And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here.
Washington down on the scoreboard, but they are getting the football first here, and we are back underway on EA Sports. No run back here to begin the half, and we will start at the 25-yard line. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And right out of the gate, they face what you think could be a pretty important drive.
I would say so. You know, they're down 2 scores. That's not the end of the world. It wasn't the strongest of first halves, but for them to start clawing back, they've got to start putting a little pressure on that defense, start cutting into this deficit. You can't have 3 and outs and expect to get that done.
On play action, Wentz. Eluding the pressure right. Incomplete.
The goal is certainly to try and make a big play happen and climb back into this game, but you have to be careful. If you overdo it, you could turn it over and hurt your team.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Throwing now is Wentz.
Got this complete to Jahan Dotson.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down. Wentz to throw again. This one complete to Curtis Samuel. And he's got this down to the 35. He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down. Wentz. This is caught by his tight end, Logan Thomas. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 12 more yards there and another first down.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That was a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Wentz now to throw. Touchdown!
Logan Thomas
from 19 yards away.
And the Commanders are back within a score.
As a general rule, quarterbacks don't want to lock in on a receiver before the ball is snapped. But in this case, based on the matchup he thought he was going to get, it was favorable for his tight end. He locked in on him early and found him for a touchdown.
Wentz going to look to throw. And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Steven Nelson.
Well, as most teams do in their two-point attempt, they pass the ball. Instead, it gets intercepted. And remember, if you pick it off, you get a chance to take it all the way back and get 2 points yourself, right?
Yeah, not the case there. That's why you got to be really careful with those throws, especially to the outside.
Taken at the 15, a short kick. And he won't quite make it to the 25.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive.
But Charles, they still have the lead despite their defense giving up a touchdown on the previous possession. And even though they have that lead, it feels like a back-and-forth ball game where to try to get momentum back, maybe they need at least 3 here on this drive.
I think you're right about that, Brandon, because your game plan doesn't change. I do believe your urgency does because of the last score that went against your team. So what you want to do now is have your own drive and try and make sure that that momentum stays in your camp.
From the 27,
Mills. And Mills is intercepted for the 3rd time.
Picked by Kendall Fuller.
And he will bring this one back. It is a pick 6 for a Washington touchdown. So this whole game gets flipped on its ear right there. The interception, return for a touchdown, and this lead changes hands here in the third quarter.
And it certainly felt like this defense had a read on what was going on the offensive side of the ball and said, let's cut down our coverage a little bit. Let's be in a position to make a play on the ball. And, boy, that sure turned out well for them.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away.
This one fielded at the 5. And not a good return at all. Down inside the 10, all the way back at the 7. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick 6, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
Yeah, sometimes.
And he's going to go down. He backed up into the end zone, and this is going to wind up a safety.
At this point, I think it's a surprise when he isn't close to being sacked on a passing down. The amount of times he's hit the deck today, I think a lot of us are reading safety before they even took the snap. Simply a merciless pass rush every step of the game, and that rush earns a crowning achievement there.
Wentz bringing the Commanders up for 1st and 10
at their own 19-yard line. Now a play fake. Wentz under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. The veteran Jerry Hughes drops the hammer in the backfield.
They tried to go with a little play action there, but nobody on the defensive side bit.
Yeah, they adjusted in time and in a big way and ultimately got the sack. On offense, sometimes you're running play action just to set up a certain blocking technique. In this case, none of it worked.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Now Wentz. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. And it won't be a pick 6, but he will have his guys set up at the 2-yard line.
It's such a costly interception, nearly a pick 6, but now they're so close they are knocking on the door for a touchdown.
And I never want to get on any team for being aggressive because that's part of what their makeup is, and oftentimes it's successful. But in this case, you've got to be selective about it and make sure you take care of the football. That interception almost cost them 6 points. Now their defense has to run onto the field, probably giving the quarterback a few side eyes along the way. They've got to see if they can stop a score.
So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, 2nd and goal. They'll run it with Mack. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. Now Mills.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked by Kendall Fuller. Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there.
And he will bring this one back. An interception return for a Commanders touchdown. So that a real wrench thrown in now for this offense. They're trying to make a game of this in the 3rd quarter, but that is not going to help.
Yeah, partner, probably should have used a different tool on that play, right? That ultimately is the kind of play where you can lose a ball game instead of being in a position to win.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
Taken at the 15, a short kick. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. Their lead, they have seen it evaporate completely after such a good first half. They've been shut down here in the third quarter.
Searching for answers, trying to figure out what it's going to take to get back to where they were before. The big part of it is that sometimes you don't have to go exotic now. You go back to basics. Being able to run the football, string some things together, some effective passes, try and get a rhythm established again, and try and get back in the lead.
Back in the lead, like you said, back to the basics.
2nd and 10. Thanks for tagging along with us here from Houston, Texas. Mills to throw it.
And my goodness, another interception. And he'll bring this one back to the 29. And you have to wonder, Charles, a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
Well, based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day, because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
3 quarters in the books.
You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. A give up the middle to Gibson.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively, because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 11. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
What we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
So that maybe not a knockout blow, but I suppose certainly every little bit helps when you're trying to salt one away in the 4th.
Well, the possibility of being beaten by 2 late touchdowns or at least sent to overtime does exist. But time, definitely a big factor at this stage of the game, is in their favor.
And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
At their own 24-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, and finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you've got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. And now here is another interception. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line.
With the points that we've seen scored, neither defense has been at their best, but these guys have been a little bit better, Charles, and a nice interception there.
Yeah, you're right about that, Brandon. Let's face it. It's not always how you start, it's how you finish, right? So maybe you have a rough game all the way along, but if you make a big play like that at the right time, it can make everything turn out just okay.
105 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's going on.
Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
And intercepted, maybe the turning point they need.
Derek Stingley picks it, and the Texans are right back in this football game.
I'm starting to wonder, Charles, 5 interceptions, is that the last that we've seen of him?
Well, I think that a lot of people hope that's the last they've seen of him in this game, probably including himself. If this were baseball, the manager would have been at the mound already and asked for the ball, and he'd be in there getting a shower. But in football, you might have to go stand on the sideline and watch the rest of it and see if your backup can do any better.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And my goodness, another interception. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line.
Well, let's face it, Brandon, they're down here in the second half. Want to try and make something happen, and if you're the guy with the ball in your hands, you're going to try even harder, because I think all he was trying to do was to get outside the pocket and see if he can find a big play downfield.
So after the INT, here's Wentz. And intercepted, maybe the turning point they need.
Jalen Petrie picks it off, and the Texans are right back in this football game.
Well, to be frank, CD, this is getting tough to watch. I mean, you feel for him, but 6 interceptions, that's at a whole new level. It's not a good level.
It makes it tougher and tougher to come up with ways to try and support him. But you have to as a team, because you can't just throw your quarterback aside. You're going to need him later on. But it reminds me of a time that a former defense coordinator of mine told me he was in a game where his quarterback threw 7 interceptions. So after the 6th one of the defensive players went to the quarterback and said, here's what you do. Throw the ball to the other team, and let's see if our receivers can pick it off and turn it into a completion.
That's just mean. I don't know that I'd go down there and say that to him right now. Probably pretty fragile. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3.
Throwing, Mills. He's got his man. It's the tight end, Brevin Jordan.
Touchdown, Texans.
Brevin Jordan.
58 yards.
And the Texans have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th.
So that's a really big play here in the 4th quarter. And don't look now, they're right back in this game.
Did it feel to you, as it did to me, that maybe they were a little bit soft in what they were lining up with on defense? Almost like they were protecting the lead rather than trying to make a play.
And now that lead is down to just 1 score. And it's no good. Well, that could be a critical miss here in a 1-score game in the 4th. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss.
And Gibson decides against bringing it out. there setting ready for this next drive, the Washington offense.
I'm curious to see, Charles, about the play calling on this drive. Last time out, the interception that led to a touchdown. Here we are. I mean, very close, one-score game.
Yeah, and if I'm a defender, I'm actually chirping to you on the other side of the ball, saying, hey, we picked off the last one. What you going to do about it now? So when you do throw the football, high percentage, but throw it with confidence. If there's any hesitancy at all, it could end up in enemy's hands again.
On second and a couple, Wentz. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
Well, you most certainly don't want to go 3 and out here and get the football right back, because your friend, Old Momentum, he's wondering if he should change sidelines about right now. And if you don't convert here, guess what? He's going to make the trek to the opposite side, and all of a sudden, you've got a battle on your hands.
This is 3rd and 2. Maybe the biggest play in this football game. Now Wentz.
A throw to the flat here for McKissick.
And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. Just a gain of a couple there. And that'll bring up 4th down. I hate to surrender the football when you're nursing a slim lead, but they're going to have to punt it away. Trust that defense.
It's the right play at this stage of the game as well. You don't need to press it here because you do have that little bit of a cushion, and you count on your D to make it stand up.
37 yards on the punt with no return, and we have reached the 2-minute warning.
At their own 24-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive.
Well, the defense got its job done, forcing the punt. Now the formula pretty simple. They need to find the end zone here. A field goal doesn't help them much. Mills' throw taken in by Collins. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. Out of the gun, here's a give to Mack. And only able to get 2 here, stopped at the 30.
Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game.
Now Mills.
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game.
Mills, 4th down, gotta have it.
And he's brought down. Can't do anything with the football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. They had to go for it with such little time remaining.
And Washington is going to win the football game. Now the Commanders going to burn the second of their timeouts.
That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play.
They're coming out with a jumbo package to start the drive. On 1st and 10, it's Gibson.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Yeah, that wasn't a big run, just a short one there. But guess what? Sometimes you treat it like boxing. You throw that jab out there, and you throw it again, then you come with a big punch later. Maybe they're just trying to set them up.
Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7.
Once more, Gibson.
And he's across for the touchdown. And in the final minute, that should just about seal it.
Well, this, of course, set up by the stop a moment ago on 4th down. And now that might be the score that puts this one officially out of reach.
And it's a tough one because your hands are tied when you're losing in the 4th quarter because you know you've got to make something happen. They couldn't pick up the first down, and after that, the air just went right out of the balloon, and you knew you were looking at a defeated team.
So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going.
Well, Charles, you remember their last drive. They went for it on 4th down, didn't get it, but you understand why they did in this close game late. Now, though, the road back is even tougher.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it was fair to look back and say the 4th down was a moment where this one was decided. But as you mentioned, understandable about why they went for it. But, hey, a lot of credit to the guys on the defensive side of the ball. They knew they'd have to defend in that situation, and they got it done.
Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Play action now. Mills. Oh, the Commanders are going to get there as he's taken down. Montez Sweat in there to drop him as that clock continues to run. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Well, this is getting close to a no-win situation now. They've got one final shot. They're on their end of the field, and it's 4th and long. This might require a little extra razzle-dazzle to get it done.
Forced out to his left. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And that'll be just about all she wrote for this one. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal.
They'll run with Gibson.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington.
Antonio Gibson.
A 5-yard touchdown run.
And the Commanders have put this one to bed here in the 4th quarter.
They're going to try and run. And he will dive into the end zone, and the 2-point conversion is successful.
Joey Sly now to kick off after the touchdown.
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive.
Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming